there, and welcome to As I See It. Today we're going to talk about what it takes to be a good meeting participant, which in general means being fully focused on the person that you're meeting with and paying full attention. And the number one way to ensure that you are focused and paying full attention is to leave your phone alone. Now, when I mean leave it alone, I mean leave it alone somewhere else. So somewhere where it's not in your eye line and somewhere where you can't reflexively reach for it. And I know there are going to be objections, and I'll get to all of that in just a second, but there are a few good reasons for doing this. So first of all, it signals respect to the person who's taking their time to be with you. It's also a flex in a modern day world that, you don't need your phone here for 20 minutes because you've got it all together. Whatever's going on in the outside world, you've got people for that. It's all going to work out. It also improves the flow and the productivity of the meeting, and maybe even shortens the meeting and creates better efficiency, which I think we can all appreciate. The other reason to leave the phone alone is that humans can't actually multitask. We only have one brain, and it doesn't have a dual processor. So when you think you're multitasking, what you're actually doing is switching things back and forth between tasks really, really fast, which is not only inefficient, it's exhausting for you, and it's exhausting for the person who's watching you do it in the meeting. And honestly, even the sight of our phones these days can trigger this need for the dopamine hit that comes from when you get a message, and it makes you reflexively check the phone all the time, pulling it in and out of your bag or in and out of your lap, or maybe if it's face down on the table in front of you, which is always kind of creative. I like that one, picking it up constantly and looking at it. So just leave the phone alone. Now, okay, I hear all the screaming. I know. What happens if I go to a meeting and I don't have the phone? I feel like I'm untethered in time and space. What do I do? There's actually a simple and time-honored solution, pun sort of intended, to this little problem. It's called wearing a watch. It's an analog watch. It's got hands and it tells the time because that's really all you need to know. You need to know when your meeting ends and how far you are from the end of that meeting. And sometimes you need to know this a little more often than other times, I guess, depending on how exciting the meeting is. But really, that's all you need to know besides what's going on right in front of you. And if you're truly expecting an urgent message and you've really just got to have that phone next to you, either remove the meeting from your calendar, reschedule the meeting, or you're going to end up having to explain to the person in front of you why it is that you are slavishly looking at the phone in order that they're not, offended or confused or concerned about why you don't seem to be paying any attention in the meeting. Now, I do have a colleague who I respect very, very much, who is one of the most productive people on the planet. And he suggested to me that wearing a smartwatch was actually helpful to him because he could kind of mini triage, and it was a way to kind of keep the temperature down and stay in the know of what was going on while in a meeting. I can't argue with personal preference, and if that's working for him, then fantastic. But I will go back to the point about only having one brain and not two processors. Ultimately, smartwatch is still going to divide your attention. It might be more efficient, honestly, to just go ahead and do that mini triage after the meeting. You're probably going to get it done a lot faster by taking 20 seconds after the fact than taking multiple bursts of 20-second attention in the middle of your meeting. Now, the same principles also apply to good old-fashioned phone calls and virtual appearances of all kinds, meetings, etc. You think that nobody can tell that you're multitasking, but everybody could really tell. So next time you're faced with a meeting, just give it a try. Leave the phone alone, put it away, keep it in your office, and see what happens. I think that with some patience and persistence, you will find all kinds of benefit.